Hello and welcome. In a previous video, we've talked about what Re.Pack is and what it offers. Today, I would like to show you how you can easily integrate Re.Pack into your own code base. When it comes to Re.Pack, there are two ways of integrating it into your project. We'll go over the automated process, as that should be sufficient for most projects. If your directory structure isn't similar to that of typical React Native projects, you might need to go through the manual setup. All of the steps needed for that are described in the official documentation of Re.Pack, available at repack.netlify.app. Let's create a new React Native project using React Native CLI. And when we are done, we'll navigate to the root of our project. Integrating Re.Pack into your project can be as simple as running npx @callstack/repack-init @latest. You should always run this command from the root of your project, where your package.json lives. This will install all the necessary dependencies, add additional files such as webpack config, and modify existing configurations for Android and iOS. But before we run it, let's go over a few options that you can customize with the Re.Pack init command. The first option that we can customize is the entry point for our React Native application, which we can override using the --entry flag. If your project uses index.js as a main entry point, you can skip this one. Otherwise, you can specify a path to the file responsible for initializing React Native in your project. The second option is --format. This one determines what type of format your webpack config will be. We can choose between using an ES module version with .mjs extension or a common JS equivalent with .cjs extension. If you are unsure what to use or have no preference, you can skip this flag, and your webpack config will have .mjs extension by default. Now, let's integrate Re.Pack into our project by running the Re.Pack init command. If everything goes well, we should be almost ready to start using Re.Pack in our project. The last thing we need to do is to install additional pods that come with Re.Pack. Let's navigate to the iOS directory and run pod install there. Finally, to finish the setup, let's go modify the start script in the package.json so the start command runs Re.Pack development server instead of Metro. Let's find the start command and change it so it uses webpack start instead of start. And that's it. We should now be able to use Re.Pack in our project. Let's verify that by starting an iOS simulator with our app. We can see that our server is connected and managed to bundle our project and pass it to the simulator. As I mentioned at the beginning, Re.Pack init should work out of the box for most people. If for some reason you weren't able to successfully start the app, please go over to our documentation and follow the manual installation instructions over there. Congratulations on setting up Re.Pack in your project. In the next video, we'll talk about what micro frontends and module federation are and how they enable you to create your own super app. Thank you and see you in the next one.